गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः वर्णानामर्थसङ्घानां रसानां छन्दसामपि मङ्गलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायकौ भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम् वन्दे बोधमयं नित्यं गुरुं शङ्कररूपिणं यमाश्रितो हि वक्रोऽपि चन्द्रः सर्वत्र वन्द्यते सीतारामगुणग्राम पुण्यारण्यविहारिणौ वन्दे विशुद्धविज्ञानौ कवीश्वरकपीश्वरौ उद्भवस्थितिसंहार कारिणीं क्लेशहारिणीं सर्वश्रेयस्करीं सीतां नतोऽहं रामवल्लभां यन्मायावशवर्ति विश्वमखिलं ब्रह्मादिदेवासुरा यत्सत्त्वादमृषैव भाति सकलं रज्जौ यथा हेर्भ्रमः यत्पादप्लवमेकमेव हि भवां बोधे स्थितीर्षावतां वन्देऽहं तमशेषकारणपरं रामाख्यमीशं हरिं नानापुराणनिगमागमसम्मतं यद् रामायणे निगदितं क्वचिदन्यतोऽपि स्वान्तः सुखाय तुलसी रघुनाथ गाथा भाषा निबन्धमतिमञ्जुल मातनोति भाषा निबन्धमतिमञ्जुल मातनोति रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः सीताया पतये नमः सीताया पतये नमः. So we saw, we are in Adhyatma Ramayana, Balakand chapter 5 we are going to begin today, and correct 5 we are going to begin, right? And so tatoti tataha ati, in the 31st verse in the previous chapter, we saw that that Tadka, who was a Kama Rupini, and she has been killed, and why was she killed? Because she was a demoness, and she was a demoness because she had a curse, and as a result of the arrow of Sri Ram, immediately she was liberated from her demonic form and immediately became a Yakshini, came back to her original form and went to her abode. Just like we have Swargolok, there is a Yakshloka also. She went to a Yaksha because she was a Yakshini. And before going, she thanked Lord Sri Ram by prostrating and going 3 times around him and took his permission to go away. And then tatoti hrishta paribhyaram, where are we? Tatoti hrishta paribhyaramam murdhanya vagraya vichintya kinchit sarvastra jalam sarahasya mantram prityabhiramaya dadau munindraha. When Tadka was killed, our sage Vishwamitra, he was very, very happy with his two students, and he immediately smelled their head and what to offer. He is a sage, he has got no belongings. So what do immediately he thought, what can I give them? And when you are expressing love, you want to add to their strength, you want to add to their knowledge, you want to add to their glory. Whoever you love, you want to add to their glory. And he thought for a few moments, and then all that he had was, he was a Kshatriya and he has done lot of tapasya. He has to defeat Sage Vashishta. So he has all those divine weapons. So he gave all the mantras, and here he says sarvastra jalam sarahasya mantram prityabhiramaya dadau munindra. Dadau munindra gave, what did he give? He gave the mantras to invoke the various weapons and how to activate them. And in this way, that is very important. Many times we know how to activate our anger, but we don't know how to stop it. Some people, in the wrong place, they activate anger. Some people, when you are supposed to be show a little bit strictness, there they are not able to invoke the strictness, discipline. So, and some of them, ayaram gayaram, the anger keeps coming and going like us. So it is very important that we have complete control over these, because anger can also be a weapon. Jealousy can be a weapon. Apsaras use that. Menaka was used against Vishwamitra in the past. We use our anger, we use our strictness, we use our discipline, we use our satsang, we use our words, we use our attitudes. But are they in our control, or are we under their control? That is the question in the end. So here, with the student like Ram and Laxman, he gave it to them. And now, iti Srimad Adhyatma Ramayane Uma Maheshwara Samvade Balakande Chaturtha Sarga. In this way, the dialogue between Lord Shiva, Maheshwara, and his consort Uma Maheshwari, this dialogue is going on. He is telling her the story because she wants to know the truth of Ram. She wants to know more. In the first chapter, in short, it was told, and she was not satisfied. And she asked, tell me in detail. And therefore, Lord Shiva is now telling the secret, and this through the story of, he has already told the secret, but this is also abridged version, and thus the dialogue is going on. Now we are in the Panchama Sarga, the 5th chapter. Marich and Subahu, liberation of Ahilya. These are the 3 topics that are going to be covered in this chapter. Let's read the first 4 verses. Shri Mahadeva Uvacha Tatra Kamashrame Ramye कानने मुनिसङ्कुले उषित्वा रजनीमेकां प्रभाते प्रस्थिता शनैः सिद्धाश्रमं गता सर्वे सिद्धचारणसेवितं विश्वामित्रेण सन्दिष्टा मुनयस्तन्निवासिनः पूजां च महतीं चक्रु रामलक्ष्मणयोर्धृतं श्रीरामकौशिकं प्राह मुने दीक्षां प्रविश्यतां दर्शयस्व महाभाग कुतस्तौ राक्षसाधमौ तथेत्युक्त्वा मुनिर्यष्टुम् आरेभे मुनिभिः सह. And in this manner, our Mahadev ji is continuing the story of Adhyatma Ramayana, and he says, Lord Shiva says, O Parvati, after that, tatra, thereafter, कामाश्रमे रम्ये कानने मुनि संकुले उषित्वा रजनी में काम प्रभाते प्रस्थिता शनैः. And after that, both the brothers along with along with our Vishwamitra spent the night in the forest called Kamashrama, which was inhabited by sages and hermits. And who are these sages and hermits? They have conquered the lust, they have conquered the desire. Lust meaning desire. And who was Tarka? She was the lust incarnate, passionate incarnate, Kama Rupini. And where are they living? Kama Ashram. And what are they desiring? They are also in the ashram. Its name is Kama. Either we can say that they have conquered the Kama, the desire, or they are abiding in those desires which are for the betterment of the humanity. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. See? Which was inhabited by sages and hermits. And at the crack of the dawn, they proceeded from there slowly onwards on their journey. And when the morning came, they all, Vishwamitra along with the two brothers, Sri Ram and Laxman, they started their journey. Then next, what was their point of stop in that journey? Siddhashramam gata sarve siddhacharana sevitam Vishwamitrena sandishta munayastannivasinaha. Next they arrived at Siddhashram, which was served by Siddhas. Who are Siddhas? Two ways you can look at Siddhas. There is a Siddhalok, just like Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, Tapa, Jana, Maha. Tapahalok is the Siddhalok, where the Siddhas are. Or you can even say Siddhas are those who have realized God, and God has sent them back to the earth to serve the humanity. You can put it in this manner also. So these were all Siddhas, mystics, attained and expert ones, and gypsies, and they had they have got all these mystical powers with which they either they are researching more deeper secrets of the universe, or they are helping the people. The resident hermits and sages of the place on the instructions of Sage Vishwamitra, and when all these residents of that ashram, the moment they all came, Vishwamitra and Sri Ram and Laxman, immediately, how did he say, "Arey, come, nahi, aankhon mein ishara ho gaya." Immediately all the brahmacharis and everyone, they came and welcomed and did the the welcoming arti, washing the feet and Na tatra suryo bhati, or Guru Brahma, Guru Shri, whichever, whatever their system was. And after that, Shri and when and then remember in the palace itself, Vishwamitra had told Sri Ram that in where I am staying in the Siddhashram, there I am facing some difficulties. So when Sri Ram came to know this is the Siddhashram, he immediately told our Sri Rama Kaushika Praha Mune Diksham Pravishyatam Darshayasva Mahabhaga Kutasto Rakshadha Sadhamau. And another name of Vishwamitra is Kaushiki, Rishi Kaushik. So he says, Sri Ram told Kaushik, please begin your fire sacrifice. Now we have reached here, and show us where those demons are. So you see that this is our language, that the confidence in Ramchandra ji has increased. It was never decreased in the first place, but now we see these, if you take them as the Lord has taken human form, he is not showing any extraordinary abilities, his divine qualities he is not showing, he is not exhibiting them. And because of the mantras and before Bala and Ati Bala, which were given to Ram and Lakshman, because of them they were able to kill Tadaka. You need extreme strength. You have to invoke extreme strength, willpower within to overcome lust. See? And thereafter, now they are here. Now, and then he gave them even more weapons. Now, with that quiver full of divine weapons, unique weapons, with all the mantras with them, their confidence, we all move ahead. I am a sannyasi, you are a family. Do you know what challenges are going to come in the future, tomorrow, in your family? As a sannyasi I am, what challenges I will come across as I move on in this journey of life, as this body is moving through? We don't know. But if we have lived a life where we haven't succumbed to the small, tiny titbots which come in our life, situations, people, events, misunderstandings, and if we are not affected by them, see, important is inside we must not be affected. Outside, at transactional level, sometimes it does happen. Sometimes by default the reaction comes. But inside, are we disturbed? Have we been corrupted by what the world is throwing at us? Bhagavad Gita says, Sukha dukkha same kritva labha labhau jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yudhyasva. Remain equanimous in all pairs of opposites that the life throws at you. And then, and how should you face? On a war footing. Tato yuddhaya yudhyasva. On a war footing. Not, theek hai, dekh lenge. Doesn't work. On a war footing means what? You have to be alert and vigilant every moment of your existence. See? And your past, how you have performed at your job, you want appraisal. How you have performed in your family, how you have performed with your children, with your family, with your parents. Yes, there are many places, many times, ups and downs, but in general, what is your total picture? Have we moved in a better relationship, in a better understanding, huh? In better, has our equanimity increased? See, with regards to relations and possessions, has our equanimity, meaning internally we are not disturbed by what the world is throwing at us. If that internal disturbance is increasing with every passing day, that is called maturity, that is called wisdom. That is called wisdom. Krishna Bhagwan, inwardly he was ever calm. Outwardly he was, by good people, he was understood to be on their side. By bad people like Duryodhan, etc., from their point of view, he was their enemy. He was inciting the Pandavas to fight against the Kauravas. But from Krishna's point of view, inside, he was equal to both of them. He was like a mirror. If someone comes with a good intention gets reflected back. If someone comes with bad intention gets reflected back. That only Krishna knows. Nobody could understand him. Now that should not become an excuse to shut the other up. It should not be that way. We must be genuinely clear that are we calm, cool, collected, undisturbed from within? How do you know that you are calm, cool, collected from within? See, this is where satsang comes and helps us. You would not have thought, or if you have thought it, I'm not saying you may be wiser, but my understanding is, how do we know we have become wiser, we are maturing with every day? When we don't have hang-ups in life. Hang-ups in life means we don't carry the tail in our mind. The event has happened, say at a surface level, reaction has taken place, it has happened, immediately you come back, just like a pendulum, it's continuously swinging. Left, right, ting tong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. But every time it is going from one extreme to the other, there is a moment where it is neither going left nor going right. That moment. Are we able to come back to our true self immediately after some reaction, immediately after some talk, immediately after some misunderstanding, immediately after whatever shortcomings may have expressed? Are we able to come back to the center? Samatvam yoga uchyate. See, that is very important. And how do you know you have come? Because you have got data to compare with the past. Hey, before I used to be like that, now I am like that. It must be even better. What is the next stage? I can come back to the center after the event is over. Can I come to the center while the event is going on? While the reaction is taking place, can I quickly cut it off and come to the center? The stage after that, can I come to the center before the reaction even comes up? See, these are different stages. They are not to be practiced outside. They have to be practiced in your mind. Because mind is continuously bubbling up so many things. The more we are equanimous towards those, the more we don't give value to them, to that extent it will express itself outside also. And Ramchandraji, already the first victory of his life, which was killing Tadka, has given him great enthusiasm. It has given him great confidence. It has given, and plus the addition of all the weapons that the teacher has given and the powers of Bala and Atibala, all combined together. Ramchandraji has got no doubt whatsoever in his mind that he cannot perform the job for which he has been invited, requested by Sage Vishwamitra to come with him. And therefore he says that Sri Ram Kaushikam Praha Mune Diksham Pravishyatam Darshayasya Mahabhaga Kutasto Rakshasadhamao. O sage, now you perform your fire sacrifice and tell me where are those negative elements who come and disturb your fire sacrifice. In the fourth one, Darshayasva Mahabhaga Kutasto Rakshasadhamau Tatheti Uktva Munir Yashtum Arebhe Munibhis Saha, and shows where those evil demons are saying, all right, Tathastu Tathet Yuktva, Tathastu, all right, so be it. He started his fire sacrifice, the Havan, and the sage started the performance of his fire sacrifice, accompanied by other sages and seers. See? If you are at home, you want to cook food, or you want to watch a movie, or you are having a deep and meaningful conversation with your partner, and suddenly the kids come, mommy, daddy, do this, daddy, daddy. After some time you can't have that conversation. Or if you are studying, you can't study because disturbance. If you are cooking, again disturbance. नमक ज़्यादा पड़ जाता है, मिर्ची ज़्यादा पड़ जाती है. Now our sage Vishwamitra is bindas. He knows. Now I have these two who are going to protect the Havan from being abused, and therefore he starts the sacrifice. Continuing, we'll read the 5th and 6th verse. Madhyahne dadrusha tetau rakshasau kamarupinau marichascha subahuscha varshantau rudhirasthini. हाँ, एक और है ना. रामोऽपि धनुरादाय द्वौ बाणौ सन्दधे सुधीः आकर्णान्तं समाकृष्य विससर्ज तयो पृथक्. At that time, in Madhyane, mid-afternoon, midday, Madhyane dadrushastetau rakshaso kamarupinau. At the noon time, the two demons, who are these two demons who came? They are Marichascha Subahuscha Varshando Rudhirasthini. Rudhira is blood, and Asthini is the bone, and ash and the bones and the intestines and all those things, all the inside stuff. So these two came and they saw this was their pastime. Life is a time pass, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. But for these Rakshasas, for the rishis, the time pass is keep doing havan, keep pleasing the gods, keep aspiring good for the whole world, or keep aspiring to move into the higher and higher planes of existences. That is their pastime. Human beings' pastime is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya is one. This is Rajasic. Tamasic is sleep or sleep. Sattvic is like you people sitting here on a Saturday evening listening to the blabbering, to the satsang, interested in knowing the story of the Lord. So many options are there. You have chosen to be here. See? So which one are we? Are we always finding faults with other people? Are we always, maskari bolte hai na, maskari. We get the thrill out of troubling other people. Are we one of those? Then we are Marich and Subhahu, troubling the rishis. They are going about doing their job and these two are coming and troubling them for nothing. If we are one of those who someone is nicely, chalo jaake chabi de do, ho gaya kaam. They are giving chabi, Marich and Subhahu. Their giving chabi is different. Our chabi is through words. Our chabi is through, creating some scene or whatever. So their time pass is troubling the sannyasis. So Marich and Subhahu, and they had a Rakshasa Kama Rupinav. Kama Rupinav, by their own desire, they could take any form they wished, and they were and who are these who could take any form? They were Marich and Subhahu. Varshantav means they showered the rains of blood and bones, asti, into the fire pit. Ramopi dhanuradaya dvau banau sandadhe sudhihi akarnantam samakrushya visasarjatayo pruthaka. Lord Sri Ram, Ramopi dhanuradaya. Naturally, the elder one is Sri Ram. Laxman would have said, he was already angry, he was already fired up. His nature is like that. He is the Sheshnag. So for every small moment, I will take care. But brother, you. No, Ramchandraji said, I'll take care. He took 2 arrows and put them on his bow and pulled the bowstring all the way up to the ear and shot the arrows. So he put both the arrows on the bow, but both the arrows, one went to Marich and one went to Subhahu. Subhahu, great arms. Marich, illusion. See? Master of magic, master magician, master illusionist. Who is the master illusionist? You must have heard of PC Sarkar, and so many shows are going on nowadays. Who is a greater illusionist magician than them? I'm giving you 30 seconds to answer that question.
The mind, Swamiji.
Yes, the mind. Who is the greater illusionist than the mind? फंस गया क्या? The mind is a great what do you call? What word did I use? Illusionist, magician. Who is the greater magician than the mind?
Lord.
The Lord does not do any magic. He is always Sthita Prajna. He is unchanging. He is always Samaya Kritva. He is always Samatva. He is equanimous, undisturbed. Ishvara does not do anything. Who does?
Parvati or the Prithvi.
The Shakti, the Avyakta, the Prakriti, the Maya. She is the greater illusionist than our mind. Mind at total level, at totality level, is called a Maya. At individual level, that Maya is called as mind. See? So, continuing. तयोरेकस्तु मारीचं भ्रामयन् शतयोजनं पातयामास जलधौ तद्भुतमिवाभवत् द्वितीयोऽग्निमयो बाणः सुबाहुमजयत् क्षणात् अपरे लक्ष्मणेनाशु हतास्तदनुयायिनः. Remember, Ramchandra ji took the 2 arrows and he did not leave any doubt in his mind that he has not used his entire power of his bow. He wanted it to be a sure shot. You can pull the bow up to here and then shoot it. You can pull the bow to your shoulder and shoot it. You can pull the bow all the way like that. And then the bowstring is all the way to your ear and your eyes are on the tip of the arrow. Well, here 2 arrows are going in 2 different directions to 2 different demons. So it must be Sankalpa Shakti. It is not just the power of the eye. Yes, he is seeing it, but it is the mental power which is directing those arrows to go to the destination that Sri Ram wants to send them. And what did he do? Tayorekastu maricham bhramayan chatayojanam. One arrow which he hit Marich, illusion. Marich means illusion. Same word, Marichika. Marichika is like Mrugtrishna. Mrugtrishna means the क्या बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में यार?
Mirage waters.
Mirage waters. Mirage waters. It's the mirage. Yes. See? So he hit him with a. It comes in our Valmiki Ramayana. He hit him with a blunt arrow, and that blunt arrow, when it hit him, when it left the bow, it turned like that and hit. And when it hit Marich, Marich also started revolving along with the arrow, and the power was so much that it took him away 800 kilometers or 1000 kilometers, something like that. Here it says Shata Yojanam, 100 yojanas. So I don't know how much is 1 yojan, but imagine from there he threw. It will come afterwards when we see. He threw Marich all the way back to Sri Lanka. How did he go to Sri Lanka? Revolving like a top. लट्टू की तरह घूमते 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 he went all the way back to from where he came, Sri Lanka. And पातयामास जलधौ tadadbhutam ivabhavata, and it was a really unbelievable, astonishing feat. So here he says, flung him hundreds of miles away in ocean. And we know he was thrown on one of the islands above Sri Lanka. You can still go and see that place. Dvitiyognī mayo bānaha subahum ajayat kshanat. And the second arrow, which was tipped with fire, burnt Subahu to ashes in a second. While the rest of the demons were instantly killed by Lakshman. Ramchandra ji focused on their leaders, Lakshman ji focused on the army. And within a blink of an eye, the entire episode is over. All the problem has been neutralized. Not 29 days. In one moment, story over. So whenever, in other words, if we have to apply it on ourselves, whenever we are faced with delusory powers, someone with whenever our mind, here we'll talk about mind, not about the world, when our mind starts imagining, starts going into a mushy zone and starts thinking that it could happen like this, it could happen like that, I will do this, I will do that, immediately cut it. Immediately push it away. You don't want to dwell too long into imaginations. Writing novels, stories is not healthy. If it is not about the Lord, it is not healthy. It creates unwanted conclusions. It creates unwanted imagination. Our scriptures say, if you want to imagine, use that imagination power for merging into the divine. But see these upanyaskars, these novelists, if the story is bringing out some good value, it's going to enhance the society, then it is good. No doubt. Panchatantra is there. Ramayana is a story. Mahabharata is a story. Stories of saints and sages also is a story. All the stories of all the gods, they are also story. See? But today's serial, what are they happening? The script writer is sitting there, and if one of the characters in the serial, he gets a better job and a better salary, that person says, I am resigning. He says, give me 2 days, man. I will finish your role in 2 days. He'll write the script. Something has happened, accident has happened, disease has happened, and because if he doesn't do that, how does the serial move ahead? He is not going to get the same character. So if they are able to replace it with a character, they do that. But sometimes you will have seen, I have not seen, but sometimes when I go, people tell me, those characters finish, story over, क्या मार दिया उसको, एक्सीडेंट हो गया, बीमारी आ गई. So one imagination will lead to another imagination, will lead to another imagination. This is called building castles in the air, living in an imaginary world. When I used to work, I had one of the workers, he wanted to be a tennis champion, bloody matchstick brand. 18 years old. I want to be a tennis champion. How many years, how many hours do you practice every day? No, I practice 1 hour every week. Oh, and he wants to be a tennis player, and he wants to live in five-star hotels, and he wants to eat good food in all different countries. But what about working hard to realize that dream? No, 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 no. Wishful thinking doesn't take you anywhere. So, this imagination must be curbed, must be arrested at the source. The moment it comes, immediately cut it off. Don't allow the mind to indulge in it. It will lead to depression, sadness. You lose the plot of life. Living in a gaga world. You see all these heroines, they are living in some world of their own. They don't even, they are not on the ground. Spending 3, 4 hours in front of the mirror. Marich. And his brother Subahu. Great strength. But strength being used for what? Strength being used, or the Subahu. What are the arms used for? What are the hands used for? To do deeds. What deeds are you doing with your hands? Putting blood and bones in a God sacrifice, fire sacrifice. So are our hands being used to bring about disarray, to bring about disorder? Are our hands always under the table? हाँ भाई कुछ आ जाए नीचे से, Indian style. So if they are, such hands, such power must be cut. It must be killed. It's not even imagination. It's existing in its own absence. So it can. So बाद में आना, दूर कर दो उसको. But this Subahu, he using the strength for wrong, using the hands for wrong deeds. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Someone?
Yes, Swamiji.
Because I just now got internet unstable, so I don't know whether the sound is going or not.
Video is freezing sometimes.
So just give me one moment. Maybe it has gone to the internet of the front house. No, it is correct. So in this way, if we must immediately cut off, make all those acts which are detrimental to harmony, all those acts which are detrimental to goodness, immediately make them important. Kill them off. Not even important. Marich was made important, but Subahu, he was killed there and then at that very moment. And who are all these other demons? The demons are the various thoughts accompanying them. See, our mind, there are good thoughts, there are bad thoughts. Good thoughts, rishis, Ram, Laxman, good thoughts. Bad thoughts, Tadka, Marich, Subahu, their army. Within the army there will be many leaders here, there. This is read the Daivi Sampatti Yoga. Arjun says, why does my mind not settle down? I understand what the truth is. I understand it is not the matter. I understand that the spirit is not the matter. I have understood it. Then why is it not settling down on the spirit? Why is it wavering? Why is it getting hijacked? Why is it not able to, the attention is not able to be with the spirit continuously for a considerable period of time? In spite of knowing all this, you have given me the Virat Purusha vision also. Still this is happening. Why? And that time Bhagavan says, our mind is made up of good thoughts and bad thoughts, Devi Sampatti and Asurik Sampatti. And all the way to the equanimity, to way to focus, the way to abide in the spirit is, first you have to destroy or move away from the negative thoughts, the self-inflicting thoughts, Asurik Sampatti. Who are Asuras? Asuras are, here they have used the word demon, but Asuric thoughts are all those thoughts which are thinking about the world, are Asuric thoughts. And what do they want in the world? I want to possess this, I want to possess that, I want to possess this, I want to possess that, I want to possess this, I want to possess that. And how do they want to possess it? Sheer willpower. And for that, Samadam, they will employ. There is no love, there is no compassion, there is no sadhutva. They just want to conquer. Who are these? Oh, 1400 years we were conquered. Who are these people? All Asuras. All Asuras. They are worse than animals. Because desire, remember, whenever you think about something imaginary also, the desire for that imaginary idea arises. If that desire is fulfilled, it leads to greed. Greed has got no end. They came into the country, they looted, they did whatever the atrocities they did. They were successful, then they want more, then they want more. Oh, why we come and take away? Why not we go and rule the land? And all barbaric means. This is the way of the Asuras. Devas also do the same thing. They also want the world only. But they don't want the lower world. They want the higher. And they have got one advantage. And what is that? They invoke the power of the divine. At a drop of our hat, they say, we can't do anything. It is only by the Lord's grace that everything is happening. So they are maintaining their positions. Whereas Asuras, they are also, some of them are devotees of the Lord. But what do? Subhahu, they use immense strength. Ravana cut his head one after the other to get the boon from Brahmaji. Bhasmasur wanted to cut his head. Shivji had to appear. Ravan wanted to lift the Kailash itself, the Kailash mountain. Then Lord Shiva had to give him another boon and declare you are the greatest devotee? Hat karke. They are obstinate. They demand. Whereas Devas, they don't demand. They say, "Oh Lord, oh Narayana, if you wish, this is our problem and we know you are the greatest, please help us out." Oh, Asura will never say like this. These are both thoughts in your mind. Which one do we cultivate? Which one do we cultivate? Then you can define. You are a Asura or a Deva. But where is Asura and Deva? Only in the mind. Where is the spirit? Beyond the mind. The spirit is neither the Asur nor the Dev. Neither the good thought nor the godly thought or the good thought. Spirit is beyond. Spirit is beyond. We are not studying Adhyatma Ramayana to prove anything. We are studying Adhyatma Ramayana to fall back into being the spirit that we already are. And how we are doing it here? By recognizing that that infinite spirit, that infinite divinity is none, has expressed as Sri Ram, and you cannot understand, you cannot remember, you cannot have a relationship with something that is formless and attributeless. You cannot have a relationship with that which does not have a form or any quality. Then what do? Either you chant Om or some people take that expression of that Nirgun Nirakar to be Sagun Sakar, and that Sagun Sakar, then again imagination. But we don't say it is imagination in devotion. We say no, it is the Lord. That infinite reality, that formless, attributeless reality for our benefit. Because if I say it's my imagination, then I have become more important. I want to surrender my ego. So that infinite reality, which is formless and attributeless, out of its own free will, out of its own love, unconditional love. For love for whom? For the creation that it created out of itself. Takes the various forms. So he has to come as Ram, Sri Ram, to show us, to guide us. So if we have to think, we have to imagine, we have to indulge, why don't you indulge in Ram and his qualities and his prowess and his journey through life and get strength from him? By doing that, what will happen? Slowly, as your relationship with Sri Ram becomes stronger and stronger, just like in your life, you have a relationship with your husband or with your children, depending wherever your relationship is intense, that particular person in your family, whether it is mother, daughter, sister, wife, husband, children, which child, the eldest, the youngest, the middle one, whatever, they are always in your mind. See? Like Dasharath Maharaj, in his mind it was always his Duryodhana. He couldn't live without this. I want Duryodhana. Dasharath Maharaj, Ramchandra ji. Death is going to come to you, to this me, to this body. Death is going to, it is an event. It is going to happen. Are we prepared? That when death comes, we take it as a we invite it, we take it as a blessing. Or do we remain afraid? Or do we, at the time of death, oh my God, death is coming, I wish I go away without thinking, I go away with a stroke, or I go away with a heart attack, or I don't know, people have n number of imaginations how to go quickly. Let me come under a truck, I don't even have a time to think. Is that a healthy thought? But I hear people telling us, Baba, I don't want to suffer in the hospital. I don't want to be in a nursing home. Let my death be quick. And this is their quickness. So we create this relationship with Sri Ram. And as the relationship, as our love for Sri Ram, not just the character Sri Ram, we know, we have studied the first chapter, we know who Sri Ram stands for, we understand how the whole thing is taking place. Read it again if you have not, or listen to the talks again, for those 8-9 talks for the first chapter. Then the Adhyatma, that is the secret of who Sri Ram is and what role Sita is playing, that will become succinctly clear. With that background, now we are studying. So instead of by default thinking about the world, thinking about children, thinking about husband, thinking about parents, thinking about blah blah blah, we want our mind to be effortlessly ever contemplative, ever devoted to, ever surrendered to Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. This is the art. This is the art of contemplation. See, mind is thrilled, mind is in bliss if it stays with the form of Sri Ram, if it stays with the quality of Sri Ram, if it understands Sri Ram according to the first chapter. Oh, wow. And that Sri Ram is expressing through me. He is the source, he is the essence, he is none other than the Atma that I am. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So like a pole vaulter, he uses that long pole, runs for about 50 feet, digs the pole into the ground, raises himself with the pole so he can put the body across the bar, which is at 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters, whatever the height is, until that pole vaulter has not seen that its body is completely gone across. It keeps holding on to the pole with one finger, and when it is, and then he leaves the pole, surrenders. Same way, Ram is our Atma. We hold on to the name of Ram. We dig our heels in and allow the Ram Nam to raise us to the height. And what is that raising to the height? Raise us so that we are not caught up in the ephemeral, we are not caught up in the rigmarole. of daily life. We transcend these relations, possessions, past, future, heat, cold, joy, sorrows, likes, dislike, hunger, thirst. All this is from childhood till today, it is going on. And you haven't found a solution yet. And because you have not found a solution, you are continuously struggling to earn, to be busy so that you can provide the food, provide the comfort, provide the cooler, provide the heater, provide the hot, warm jackets, warm pants. Why? We have not raised ourselves up. Who has not raised? The individual. We are still stuck at the body level. When we consider ourselves to be the body, heat, cold will, health and disease will affect, hunger and thirst will affect, waking, dreaming, sleeping will affect. If someone says good, you will feel elated. If someone abuses you, you will feel deflated. This is the norm. We have to rise above all this. Rise above all this. And ego cannot rise by itself. Ego is nothing but crystallization of consciousness, crystallization of personality. This personality needs to melt. You are not come here, we are not doing Adhyatma Ramayana to validate how nicely the story Maharishi Vedvyas has written. We are not here to validate how wonderfully Ramchandraji served Vishwamitra. Our approach to Ramayana is that as we are studying Ramayana, as we are going through the story, the crystallization of our personality with every verse keeps melting away little by little, little by little, little by little, so that somewhere along the way, or if not, at least by the end of this, it melts away. And we discover Ram in our heart. Discovering Ram in our heart means discovering Ram everywhere. Then Ram is within, Ram is without. There is no place Ram is not. Whether he appears in form in our meditation, it's his wish. Whether he appears as the Atma, that's his wish. This transformation in the vision to see the whole world Ramamaya, it cannot come by an individual free will. It will come only by grace. For that purpose we are studying this story. So for that, if this is clicking as you are hearing, then availability is required. We must be available. We must not be distracted. While we are listening. What do we get distracted by? Subahu and Marich, imaginations and willpower. देखो, विल पावर यूज करनी है, भगवान को याद करने के लिए करो. इमेजिनेशन याद करनी है, भगवान को याद करने के लिए करो. World is Marichika. Marich is nothing but this world. From childhood till today, you have been eating, but till now you are not satisfied. You have been drinking, but still your thirst is not quenched. You have been taking so many medicines to push away all the diseases. Still new diseases keep coming and attacking you. You color your hair day in and day out, but still the hair go white. You apply so many solutions to keep the hair in place, but still they will find a way to loosen themselves from the top of your head, and suddenly, oh my God, I got that much. Rona dona shuru. You can't hold on to that, just as you cannot drink the mirage waters. Similarly, a day must come. Maybe this is the moment. A moment must come in our life where it clicks once and for all that nothing in this world is going to be able to satisfy me permanently. This world is Mooladhar, Swadhisthana, Manipur. To be Godwards, this initial realization that nothing in this world can ever satisfy me, can never make me content. Then and then alone, our mind will turn Godwards. And that happens at Anahat Chakra. देखो So Ramchandra ji killed, shot the arrow and spinned Marich and took him away, hundreds of kilometers away across the sea from where he came, and he killed Subahu and Lakshman. He killed all other army who were creating havoc wherever the rishis and munis and sannyasis were doing the fire sacrifice. Now 9th, 10th and 11th verse, and then we'll conclude. Paushpaughai rakiran deva Raghavam saha Lakshmanam Devadundubhayo neduhu Tushtuvu siddhacharanaha Vishwamitrastu sampujya Pujarham Raghunandanam Anke niveshya chalingya Bhaktya bashpakulekshanaha Bhojayitva saha bhratra Ramam pakva faladibihi Purana vakyair madhuraihi Ninaya devasatrayam. He says, when this feat was carried out by Sri Ram and Lakshman, Pushpaudhai Raki Randeva Raghavam saha Lakshmanam, they showered the flowers from the heavens on Raghava, that is Sri Ram himself, and Saha Lakshmana, along with Sri Lakshmana. Devadundu bhayo neduhu tushtu siddhacharanaha. And while these flowers were being showered on the two brothers, all the gods, all the Gandharvas, all the Siddhas in the heavens, they started playing their conches, playing their drums, and all the Siddhas, they began singing singing the greatness of Ram and Lakshman, and in this way the heavens were happy. Something like that, when you are going through the Ashtanga Yoga, when you're going through Dhyanabhyas, as you keep, even if you're doing Japa, whether you're doing Kundalini, whether you do Kundalini, whether you practice Kriya Yoga, whether you practice Ashtanga Yoga, whether you practice meditation, these stages come. You must have seen when you are singing bhajans or you are doing your japa, sometimes waves of thrill pass through your body. This many people must have experienced. This thrill, as if all your pores have all your pores have opened up and there is a freshness, and suddenly the back becomes straight and unexpressed thrill is there. That is the Pushpa Varsha. That is the gods. Where are gods? Are they outside? Yes, they are outside. But our scriptures have this beauty. Whatever is outside is also inside. The sun outside is the right eye. The moon outside is the left eye. See? Vishnu expresses through his location is our feet. Lord Shiva, his location is our heart. Indra, his location is our hand. Ashwini Kumar, their location is our nostrils. Dik Devatas, their location is our ears. Brahmaji, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, Brahmaji, 4 heads. So all gods are within. Invoke. All you have to do is melt. The moment you melt, how did Ramchandra ji melt? He is here as a human being. He has got no identity for himself at this moment, other than Sage Vishwamitra is my father, is my mother, is my guru, is my sakha, is my guide. He has left his father, mother, palace, wealth, everything behind. He is completely surrendered to Sage Vishwamitra. Having no identity of his own. If asked, he will say, I am Dasharathanandan. But when he goes to Mithila, there he doesn't tell, or he is not introduced as Dasharathanandan Ram. There is introduced as Shishya of Vishwamitra. And after the marriage, he tells, I am Dasharathanandan. When asked, he says, I will not get married till my father approves. What is your identity? Father, mother, daughter, sister, waker, dreamer, sleeper, all marichikas, all imaginary. What is your real identity? Find out. So when we do these various sadhanas, yogis say, you can read many books about it, that they hear the kettle drums, they hear the conch, they hear the shlokas, they hear the praises, they hear, all these things are heard. And when you go, you don't get disturbed by all this, you don't get elated by all this. When you stop expecting all this, no expectations, oh, I want that feeling again, then the Om is heard. The Omkar, the unstruck sound of the universe, that is heard. So there are so many different stages. So here Ramchandraji and Laxmanji, they are in the human form. So all the gods are coming and they are feeling blessed to have come in the presence of Ram and Laxman. See, they are also waiting. All the gods, all the Gandharvas, all the Siddhas, they are within. You are technically speaking, Why technically? Really speaking, you are the source of the whole creation. Just like your mind is the source of the entire dream. The dream world, the dream past, the dream future, the dream people, the dream animals, all the thoughts in every mind in the dream, all the egos of every dream, all the waker dreamer sleepers of every person in the dream, all that is your mind alone. So is true here also. This whole thing is only a projection of your mind. So either you take it as projection or you take it you alone are everywhere. Right now that is not your experience. Ramchandra ji can bring that experience about. Just like the gopis, they see the Lord everywhere. Or the Mahatmas, realized masters. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. There is everywhere there is only the reality. There is only the pure consciousness. And this is an experience without a thought. You don't keep thinking that I am the body, I am the body, I am the body. Or do you remind yourself every day? I am today also I am a man. Thank God I am not become a woman. Do you get these type of thoughts in your mind? If not, then why can't you, after studying scriptures, come to this conviction, which is without the conviction without words, that this whole universe is nothing but you. Just like you have this feeling you are pervading the whole body, why don't you feel that you are pervading the whole universe? But the answer to that is not by getting involved in the universe. You have to withdraw from the universe. You have to get to the source. And from the source will reveal the all-pervasiveness. I have every class I am repeating these. Every few weeks I keep telling this in different ways. But this is the crux of the matter. This is what is going to bring about fulfillment. This is wisdom. Probably I am saying it so many times because this mind is not there yet. So it needs reminder again and again. I don't know about you, but this mind does need reminder. ढीठ है. Tenth verse. Vishwamitrastu sampujya pujarham raghunandanam anke viveshya chalingya bhaktya bashpakulekshanaha. Sage Vishwamitra, because he was able to complete his fire sacrifice, after that he duly worshipped Raghunandan, Sri Ram. कहाँ गया? Vishwamitrastu sampujya pujarham raghunandanam. So different the child of the Raghu Vansh, Raghunandanam, is none other than Sri Ram. Just as in Bhagavad Gita, so many different names for Sri Krishna have been taken. So many different names for Arjun have been taken. Kaunteya, Dhananjaya, etc. for Arjuna. So here also Raghava, Raghunandana. And Sage Vishwamitra knows the reality of Sri Ram. So here, in the court of Dasharatha in Ayodhya, he showed, my diktat must be followed. I will curse if you don't send me. send Ram and Lakshman with me. I'll curse you. You don't know what the consequences are going to be. But here when he is, there are no people from the world, only rishis, munis. He doesn't have to put on any act. He knows Ramchandraji is Parabrahma Paramatma. He immediately falls down at his feet. See, only in such places. We'll see that happening in Atri ashram also. Bhardwaj ashram also. Bhardwaj quietly takes him into the room. Atri Maharishi takes him into the room and falls down at his feet and touches his feet. So Sage Vishwamitra duly worshipped Raghunandan with great reverence, lifted him affectionately onto his laps and embraced him to his bosom with eyes filled with tears of love, affection and devotion. अच्छा, तो यहाँ पे he did not, Ramchandra ji fell at the feet of Vishwamitra, not Vishwamitra at the feet of Ram. But in Atri Muni's ashram, Atri Muni, Atri Rishi fell at the feet of Sri Ram. So I was thinking in those lines. So Sage Vishwamitra, imagine you know that this Sri Ram is the Parabrahma Paramatma, and that Sri Ram is falling at your feet. How would you feel? Sage Vishwamitra is nothing compared to the Parabrahma Paramatma. Well, we will not say that. He is Brahma Rishi, so he knows the infinite reality. But playing the game, playing the role, and at last his sacrifice has completed without any obstruction from the asuras, from the demons, and therefore that also, and also that his choice, suppose Vishwamitra doesn't know and he has heard, suppose he has heard that these two boys, they say they are the Lord himself, the Ishvara himself has come down, the Parabrahma Paramatma has come, taken incarnation of Sri Ram. So he wants to test that is it really? It's only a hearsay. Someone has said, therefore he went there. But he has got no direct proof. Just by looking at a face, you don't say that it is like this or person is like this or like that. The acts show what the person is. Marich and Subahu, their acts were what do you call, bad, and therefore they got what they deserved. So acts prove. Acts again, manasa, vacha, kaya. Acts are done through the body, through the hands, through the speech, and the activity is also taking place at the thought level. Are they integrated? Are they conducive? Are they unconditional? Are they loving? Are they accepting? See? Like our mothers, they do unconditionally for us. They don't hug us, they don't kiss us, they don't play with our hair. In the Western culture, before going to school, they have to give a kiss. Before going to go, and that same Chunnu Munnu, the moment he turns 11, 12 years old, he says, Mummy, you should not hug me, you should not hold me, you should not kiss me in front of everyone. He starts running away from the mother or father. But that is the. But then, how do we know our parents love us? Through their acts of sacrifice, through their karma. So Vishwamitra is also wants to check out, are they capable? If they are who they are, can they, if I give them bala ati bala, can they hold that? Can they invoke it? If I give them these divine weapons, can they use them? Do they have the acumen to use them in the appropriately, using the appropriate mantra and activating it also? Or are they going to be bhigi billi, shiver the moment these Rakshasas come and run and stand behind Vishwamitra? None of those things happened. They stood their ground. They defeated the enemy. And after defeating the enemy, they didn't show the arrogance that we have defeated. They came and fell at the feet of Sage Vishwamitra. It was his arrows which he has presented them. The Guru is very happy with his students, his disciple. Very happy. Same thing happens in our used to happen. Last 2.5 years Sanskrit classes stopped. But till then, these young kids somewhere, are still so good that while others are still struggling with their thing, this 1 or 2 kids, they have done the chapter, they have done the exercises, and they want to go ahead, and you want to pour all your knowledge into them. See? So here Vishwamitra is so, his heart has just opened up, and knowing that it is the the infinite Lord who is falling at his feet in the way of Sri Ram, he lovingly lifts him and embraces him and is overjoyed. And whenever we are in joy, the tears of bliss pour out, and that's what is tears of love, affection and devotion, all put in one. What must be that state? Bhojayitva sah bhrata ramam ramam pakva faladibihi purana vakyair madhuraihi ninaya devasatrayam. And thereafter, the sage was overwhelmed with affection and surging devotion. His fatherly emotions spilled over from his heart, and he felt extremely privileged, lucky and exhilarant. And at that time, what do you want to do? You want to pour more, you want to give more. These are only 16-year-old boys in front of him who have achieved this great feat of killing Tarka and killing Subahu and sending Marich away. And then for 3 days, our sage Vishwamitra, he offered food, ripe fruits to Sri Ram and Laxman, and told them stories from Puranas and other scriptures. And after 3 days rest, they will move on where the life will take them. We'll see that in our next week's class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ